Ladies and gentlemen, welcome. This is the Branded Dropshipping 2025 Full Beginner's Guide. I'm going to be giving an in-depth tutorial on branded dropshipping. And as you can see in these pictures, I have completely transformed my life in the last year from my college apartment. I was never anyone who came from money. I'm not a trust fund baby. That was me working my college job. I was a bartender, and it was good money. But at the end of the day, I always hated working for someone else. I've worked so many, just normal 9 to 5 jobs my entire life. I worked at McDonald's, I worked in landscaping, I worked as a waiter, I worked corporate finance jobs, and I just realized I cannot sit at a desk for the rest of my life. So I figured I had to make a change. I've been in e-commerce for a couple years, so don't think that this happened overnight. I do have 3 or 4 years of e-commerce experience, but I would say over the last year is really where I started finding a lot of success in a matter of literally 6 to 12 months. Completely changed my life. So let's get into it. So what is branded dropshipping? Branded dropshipping is different than just the old dropshipping tactics, because at the end of the day, no one is going to buy your product that has no logo. It's coming from China. It takes 3 weeks to get there. So the times have changed, and this is the method that I have really found success with. And what it is basically you're putting a logo on your product, you're branding your ad, you're branding your store, and you're getting the product to your customer with consistent fulfillment. That's not taking 15 to 30 business days, because when you do dropship products from China, you're going to have a lot of chargebacks, you're going to have a lot of customer emails, complaints, just no good problems you don't want to deal with. So branded dropshipping, it allows you to put your brand logo on a product, and if you're using the correct private suppliers, then they will be able to fulfill your orders within 5 to 7 business days. So I'm going to go ahead and actually show you guys an example of what a branded dropshipping store looks like. This is a store I currently have up and running. I am open. I have a supplement brand myself that I've been recently scaling. I started running ads to it maybe 2 weeks ago, and it's doing pretty damn good. So I'll let you guys see it. So this is the homepage. The homepage doesn't matter all that much, but obviously you want your website to still look clean. But this is the product that I've been running ads to. They're my deep sleep gummies, and I did take a lot of time to you want to believe in the product you're selling, right? So I actually have these, and I take them myself. They have a low dose of melatonin so that you don't wake up groggy, and that's my unique selling point, my unique mechanism that I market very strong. Natural ingredients, and you have the option for a one-time purchase or a subscription. A lot of people buy the subscription, and that's why supplements are so good to get into, because that's reoccurring revenue every single month. That's what a good product page looks like. So that's what branded dropshipping is. Like I said, I'm not holding any inventory for my product right now. I'm dropshipping it. When I get to the point where I am doing enough in sales, or I'm comfortable with, all right, I'm going to buy inventory. Now that's going to lower my cost of goods sold. It's going to lower the shipping time. And then at the end of that, you have your own business. And I have done that with stores in the past that I've exited. But for now, as I'm just testing the product and testing ads and trying to build this brand up, I'm not going to go ahead and buy 10,000 units of my sleep gummies. All right, so everything always starts with product research. And what is product research? It's finding the product that you want to sell. So there's a lot of different methods for product research, and you hear a lot of people talk about saturated versus unsaturated, and I'm here to tell you, it doesn't matter. I promise you, you're not going to reinvent the wheel. You're never going to find a product you're never going to find a product that's never been sold. So you kind of, in my experience, I have a ton of success with saturated products. You know what I mean? So am I going to drop ship something that has something like ashwagandha or the nose strips that kind of really already hit their viral peak and super saturated? No, I'm gonna stay away from those products. But sleep gummies, there's a million people selling those, right? So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take those sleep gummies, I'm gonna find a different angle, and I'm gonna attack that angle. And a mentor of mine always told me, you don't need to dominate the market, you just need to take a piece of the pie. And once I figured that out and started realizing that, I said, all right, it doesn't matter if you're selling a saturated or unsaturated product, because if your marketing is good enough, it doesn't matter how saturated your product is. You're going to take a little piece of pie. And, sleep gummies and, the health and wellness niche, that's such a big market, along with the beauty niche, that, there's enough to go around. So, some product research tools that, you've probably heard before. What is Calidata? Calidata is a software where, it's a really good software, actually. You can look up and find products, and it'll show you what they're doing in revenue on the TikTok shop, along with actual video ads and what they're doing. So it'll show you the best performing ads from TikTok affiliates. It'll tell you basically in real time what a product is doing. If it's already a winner, you can see if it has potential and whatnot. And what I've actually done was I built a software for my Discord that scrapes products from Calidata that have an increasing amount of sales, under a certain threshold. So it basically allows me and everyone else in my Discord to find those winning products, so you want to say, before they go viral. So if you're using Calidata right now in 2025, it's going to be hard to find an unsaturated product just because everyone in the space is using Calidata. It's so big right now. You hear everyone talking about it. So me personally, I don't really find my products on Calidata, but you can. It's still a great site. Would I recommend you pull from any of the first 10 pages? Definitely not. If you're finding a product and it's on pages 1 through 10 on Calidata, I probably wouldn't do that because it just means it's so saturated. Another method is the TikTok shop. A lot of times, so I have an account that's just dedicated to be a buyer. So, I have a TikTok shop account like that, I have an Instagram account like that, and whenever, I act as a buyer, so I interact with things, I buy things on those accounts, and that just kind of, whenever I need some ideas, I hop on those accounts, I scroll a little, and I'll see a bunch of ads pop up, and I'll see different products on the TikTok shop, and that will kind of give me, some new ideas, and maybe I've had in the past products that I just ripped straight from there, and they did phenomenal. So that's another method I highly recommend you get into. The third one is Meta Ads Library or Get Hooked. So Meta Ads Library is basically a forum where you could see all the ads being ran by every single company. So it could be a big multi-million-dollar company, or it could be someone who just started their dropshipping brand. If you look up keywords like clears acne, you're gonna see all the ads that are being run for acne products. So I like to reverse engineer and go on Meta Ads Library or Get Hooked. Get Hooked is Meta Ads Library, but like on steroids. It shows you all the ads that are being ran, but it ranks them on their performance. So you're actually able to filter things like how many days they've been running, the quality. They rank them with stars, so you can see which ads are actually doing well. That's why I like using Get Hooked. You're looking at all the ads people are running, and if they've been running them for a long time, or you have Get Hooked and you can see they're ranked well, you are now validating the fact that is a good product. So when people say, oh, you don't want to run a saturated product, in my eyes, I look at it as this is a validated product because someone's already running it and they're finding success, so why can't I? So that's some product research tools. Don't overcomplicate it. Don't go crazy with it. There you go. So now we're going to get into two big parts, which is building your website and then finding a supplier. And let's start with building your website on Shopify. So a lot of people get flustered when it comes to building websites. I promise you don't need to be a genius coder. Like, people think there's such a high barrier to entry when it comes to e-commerce and branded dropshipping. There's really not. With AI nowadays, like, everything is so simplified. So what I'll use is Atlas, a website called Atlas AI. If you look it up on Shopify, you could download it as an app to your Shopify. And essentially what it does is it's an AI store builder that builds your entire store for you. So you go on AliExpress or Alibaba, you find your product link, you paste your product link into Atlas AI, and it generates your store like that. In like 2 minutes, it has a fully built out store for you. And obviously there's still things you need to work on and add onto the store, like reviews, and you got to clean it up and things like that. But it saves you so much time, and it gives you a really good base for the website. And honestly, it's more than just a store builder. Like, in my experience, like, it's so good because it mitigates all the guesswork. Like, if you're a beginner in dropshipping, I highly recommend you use Atlas AI, or at least look into it, because in the beginning, you have so many questions, and it's just like, it's super overwhelming. They have options for bundles, AI product photo generators. So if you need product photos for your product, they make that. If you want to add a BOGO or a special deal, you can add it through Atlas AI. They have all that for you. So like, you don't have to learn all these skills in code. Just use that. It'll make your life so much easier. And you also don't have to buy a $700 theme. It's like maybe $40-50 a month. Like, and if you don't have that, this isn't the space for you. You have to spend money to make money. And when people are like, oh, it's $50 a month. Listen, if you don't have $50, you shouldn't be in this. I worked plenty of day jobs to get to the point where I'm at. Like, I didn't have money from mommy or daddy. I had to work jobs. I know you guys don't like to hear that word, J-O-B, I'll censor it for you, but you have to work a J-O-B to get some capital in order to fund your side hustle. So yes, I highly recommend you use Atlas AI to build your website. It'll save you loads of time. And then probably the biggest question I asked is, all right, how do I find a supplier? And people love to, stress themselves out with like everything on the back end, like a supplier and all that stuff. But you should worry about that once you have sales. And once you have a website up and running and you're marketing and you're getting sales, all right, then you can stress about finding a supplier. But I always tell people, use my supplier. I use TeamDrop. They're like an all-in-one fulfillment center, massive all-in-one fulfillment center in China. But they basically they can source any product for you. If they don't already have it in their catalog, you can just import it in the link, and they'll find a private supplier for you. But this is the one I use. The shipping times have always been good, and the product's quality have always been good. So I highly recommend you use them. I link them in my bio. I'm not gatekeeping. So yeah, I'm not like everyone else. I'm not going to gatekeep all the tools and resources I use. I'm literally giving it to you guys for free. So go ahead. My supplier is in the bio. You can check them out. And now the biggest part is running ads. And honestly, when I first started, I didn't have a mentor or anything like that. I, basically did it all on my own. I did it through YouTube videos and ChatGPT, and I don't recommend that, but you can, it was a little rocky. But I definitely burned a lot of money on ad spend and running bad products. So, now I'm trying to help people who are in a similar spot not do that same thing. So when it comes to running ads, some people like to talk about organic dropshipping. That's fugazi. You need to be running paid ads. And if anyone's telling you otherwise, they don't know what they're talking about. So there's a couple ad strategies I like to use. If you want to just rip from TikTok, go ahead, be my guest. I'm not telling you to do that, but a lot of people do that. They take videos from the TikTok affiliates and they bring them on over to Meta and they show it to a different demographic. Is it morally incorrect? No, because TikTok affiliates are posting that publicly. But in the long-term game, if you want to brand your ads, I highly recommend buying UGC. So Viral Ecom Ads is a platform, a website where you could actually buy ads for your product, whether it's static or video UGC ads. You just go in there and you could select a package and you could basically just buy ads that you could run on TikTok or Meta. And I've done this plenty of times. They're super realistic. It's super convenient. Like, you get them very quickly, and it's a great price. Like, it's like $40 to $50, and you're getting I believe they have a four ad package and a 3 ad package, and you're getting that, and now you can run ads. You don't have to do any work. You don't have to ship it out to any creators. You don't have to do anything like that. They do everything for you. They're really, really realistic AI ads, and I highly recommend you look into Viral Ecom Ads. Great platform. And then also another way I run my ads, my AI image ad strategy, and I'm going to show you in a second. And I'm running this right now for my sleep gummy. Shout out Anthony Camacho. I said that in my last video. I made a video talking about my AI image ad strategy, so you can go check that out if you want to see an in more depth explanation about it. But basically, yeah, people think that image ads don't work for some reason. No, I've gotten ridiculous cost per clicks and CPAs through my image ads. I'll just show you guys the prompt. So this is what I have here. It is a prompt sheet, and essentially all you do is you copy and paste one by one down the list, and you import everything that has to do with your product. So you copy and paste this, you put in all the highlighted regions, you put in your niche, your product, your target country, your website URL, blah blah, whatever you have to do, and you go into Claude and you paste it in there, and you save each of these documents, and you go down the list until you're all the way at 11, and bam, all the work is done for you. It's an insanely valuable document. It's in my Discord. The link will be in the bio, so you guys can check it out. But basically, in this document, what it's going to be doing is it's going to be finding the mass desire for your product. So, what is a mass desire? It is what the majority of people want to get out of your product. So first you find that mass desire. Then you have AI like Claude or ChatGPT. You have it rank that mass desire. So now you have 5 mass desires. You test which one is the best. All right, once you found your best mass desire, then you test a bunch of different marketing angles. All right, once you found your best marketing angle, you test your best hooks. Once you find your best hooks, you test your best images. Once you find the best image, bam, you now have a proven, scientific, winning creative that is going to target exactly the exact pain points of your target buyer. So at the end of it, if you follow the document from 1 to 11, you're 100% going to have a winning ad creative, and it's going to be an image. You didn't have to spend any money on that. You didn't have to send your product out to a UGC creator. You're not stealing someone else's ad. This is your ad, and boom. All you do from there is you scale it. People think scaling's the hard part. Scaling's the easy part. All you do is increase your budget or put out more volume of what's already working for you. So once you have that winning creative, pump out a bunch of volume similar to it. Since you've tested all those different variables, you know exactly what worked with your target customer. So there's no guessing really. And this prompt and this strategy has allowed me to not burn money on ads. When I was first starting, I was just guessing. I didn't know which variable was impacting what. I didn't know how to target a mass desire for my customers. I didn't know how to find those pain points. But, now that I do, I kind of have it down to a science, and it goes for any product. It doesn't just have to be, for me, I'm selling sleep gummies, but it doesn't have to just be for that product. It works for any single product. And I have students, that I teach that, they're doing completely different products. Maybe they're in beauty, maybe they're selling a gadget, whatever. I run the same strategy with all of them, and all of them pretty much find success. And I'm not saying that, it's all attributed to me. They work hard outside of our one-on-one calls, but still, it just goes to show that insane capital or budget or fancy videos to run ads, you just need a strategy that works, and you got to be smart. Don't start with, if you don't have a lot of money for ads, start with a small budget, slowly figure out that winning creative, and then you could scale it up. Don't try to scale too quickly. Scale slowly and correctly, or else you're gonna, blow your load and have no money left to run ads. Your ads get traffic to your website. When you get an order, your supplier fulfills it, and bam, you don't ever touch a product. That's it. That's branded dropshipping. And at the end of this, you now have a website and a store that is yours. There's exit potential, and that's why it's different than normal dropshipping. But regardless, this is the strategy I have used to go from a broke, degenerate frat kid, in college, to now making around anywhere from $30,000 to $40,000 a month. And by no means am I rich. I still drive a 2013 Volkswagen Jetta. I'm not some kid, flexing in a Miami penthouse. You can see my apartment in the back. I don't have a Lambo, nothing like that. I live in the real world, so I have real expenses. I paid off my college tuition, all my student loans. I paid for, my entire years of senior rent, helping out my family, stuff like that. But this strategy has allowed me to completely change my life, and I will now no longer probably ever work a 9-to-5 job again. And I'm super grateful for it. I'm super grateful for all the ups and downs and even the losses I took in my experience, because it eventually put me on track to where I am today. If you're watching this video, it means that you have that thing in your head, whatever it is, that little, that voice that's telling you, go out there, get it, change your life, to be the first one in your family that makes it out the hood. Because at the end of the day, people think they have to be special, they think they have to have all this capital, they think they need to have all this knowledge. Just get into it. Stop sitting on the sidelines just watching videos, start your store. And it's important to watch videos and educate yourself. I still do it every single day. I buy courses, I still watch videos, everything, because I'm always a student of the game. But at the end of the day, I've always been someone who's just dove in head first. And yeah, does it hurt me sometimes? Maybe. But I don't care, because at the end of the day, I learn and I move and I progress, and I'm moving up the ladder. And you guys are, I'm living testament, because you guys have been watching me change my life over on TikTok, Instagram, and now YouTube. So it's if I can do it, why can't you? And I will, like I said, I'll link all these things in my bio for you. Atlas AI, my supplier, viral ecom ads, my Discord if you want to join. It's a phenomenal community. I have a coach in there. We do group calls 3 times a week. Like I said, I have my Drop Sniper software that scrapes products from Calidata. Everyone in there gets Shrine Pro for free. And like I said, you get this prompt sheet that has all the prompts that shows you how to run image ads. So if you want that all in my Discord, link will be in bio. And yeah, if you follow all that, you should make it out the hood just like me. So I hope I give out some valuable information. I'm sorry if I was, stuttering or whatever. I shot this all in one take. I'm new to YouTube. I'm not you can follow me on TikTok and Instagram. I have a little bit of followers there, but I am new to YouTube. But I'm going to be giving out a ton of valuable sauce. So if you made it to the end of this video, that just tells me, again, that you got that thing, whatever it is in the back of your head, that voice that's, trying to better your life and, learn a new skill and make money. So I respect it. If you thought this information was valuable, I'd appreciate it if you drop a like, drop a comment, drop a sub. Yeah, I'll see you guys for the next video. Peace.